Hey, folks. I know this is impromptu, but I want to go ahead and vent and say what I have to say, and then I can start watching other people's reactions and comments. I went on a couple things really quickly to see what people who are saying positive things are ranked the first two episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi highly, and I cannot do that. And I was just shocked and mortified, and I actually almost like felt physically ill of how bad this is. This is. So the first problem they have is the show is set like 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So it opens in episode 1 with this montage of the prequels, and then it's been 10 years. And the first problem that they have in the show is how they treat Obi-Wan himself. Like for 10 years, he has become this sullen, melancholy, beaten down hollow of a man, a husk of the Jedi Knight warrior that defeated Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. And now he's buried his lightsaber in the desert, and he tells some other Jedi to basically do the same and to go into hiding, that the war was lost, the Jedi are over. And he's kind of on watch over Luke. Like, kind of. He works as a meat market, cutting up some meat, stealing meat for his animal, and that's his existence. And he's spying on Luke, and at one point he's going to give the boy the starfighter toy that you see Luke playing with in New Hope. I think that's what they're trying to go for there. It is absolutely horrible. He's, I guess, allegedly disconnected himself from the Force, and that was either by design or I don't know. He's not communing with Qui-Gon as a ghost. He is not meditating as Jedi are taught to connect and become more with the Force, one with the Force. He's not been training. There's several lines of dialogue talking about, when he meets Bail Organa, it's like, I'm not the man, I'm not the warrior you think I am or that I was. Like, well, what good are you to Luke then? Like, what are you protecting Luke with? If you're this incapable, so let's just assume the Empire shows up and they go, we think we found this kid. He's Force sensitive. What are you going to do? You're going to go dig up your lightsaber? Is that what you're going to go do, Obi-Wan? Like, the writers of this show are such morons that they just do things and there's not even an ounce of thought of anything making sense. Like, Obi-Wan is just relegated to be this sad, pathetic man. Now, first off, it's 10 years. It should be set 3 years after Revenge of the Sith, because Ewan McGregor looks way too good to be Obi-Wan 10 years, because he's not going to look like anything like Alec Guinness. Like, the idea of the prequels, it kind of was this interesting transformation that at least got you on the right path. But for 10 years, he has like a dream sequence, which basically does the same kind of thing with the recap that they do of the prequels. Hey, Joker voice, I see you, bro. I have to just squeeze something in because I can't. I got to get back to work, but I had to just do a rant before I watch other people's stuff because I don't want it to taint my first impression. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I will soften. I can't imagine softening. You've just destroyed Obi-Wan as remotely being a relevant warrior and protector of Luke. He's just basically a wuss. He's just this melancholy old man wandering in the desert, I guess, is what he basically is thought of to these people. It's just so stupid. And the bait and switch is that this is more about Leia than Luke, which is really not a surprise. The leaks, many of the leaks have proven to be true. And the show is basically, and I actually will say, the contrivances of episode 1 with getting Obi-Wan to leave Luke to protect Leia, you see him struggling. He's hesitant to do it. He's making excuses. That's all fine. The bigger issue here is that he's just a nobody. He's completely irrelevant. What is he going to do? What's he going to do? So we fast forward in the show, and there's a part, first off, and little Leia. Oh my gosh. This is supposed to be Princess Leia as a 10-year-old? She's a little brat. Like, there's this scene where she is kind of created a decoy because she doesn't want to go to this sort of like pomp and circumstance, wealthy person party, and she gets into it with her cousin later. But then the moment that her dad, Bail Organa, her stepdad, gives her like a uplifting speech, a life lesson, and she does basically like the dupe, like, no, and then she just runs off again. Like, she's just a freaking brat. And then the stupidity of woman characters can't do anything wrong comes into play, because then she's dodging 3 adult males who also have blasters to evade them. They're literally like running into things on purpose or falling down so this little 10-year-old can get away from them. It was just so stupid. It was moronic. This sequence was like Nickelodeon. Like, it was like, what are you doing? I thought of Boba Fett and how bad Boba Fett got. That's how bad this stuff seemed to me. Then when we get to the Inquisitors, and I didn't hate the Inquisitors. I thought I would. I'm not a big fan of Rebels. I'm just not into it. I don't hate it or anything. I prefer the OT. They're introduced in the opening episode of coming across like a cantina, like a little tent type bar. It's not as fancy as the one that was in Mos Eisley. But just like with Book of Boba Fett, our Star Wars universe is nearly devoid of aliens. This is all a bunch of humans sitting around in the bar. There's a few aliens scattered along the street, but our Star Wars universe doesn't have any aliens in it. Like, there's nothing sci-fi or fantastical about it. Can't any of you, like, do you guys understand what Lucas and his team did when they went to Rick Baker's studio and just grabbed masks on the wall and just made characters? Like, you guys can't just find stuff laying around from the other movies that you can't just stick on people sitting there. And don't shoot it in the daylight. Shoot it in some shadows so we can, like, it can be believable and not so cheesy. The Inquisitor's fine. He comes in, he has his spiel. But then Reva, the black actress that does not look like an Inquisitor, everyone else has makeup on and has this major transformation, but she just looks like a woman that's been lifted out of numerous other shows and just wears an Imperial costume and has a red lightsaber. That's it. We're assuming she's an Inquisitor. She doesn't look like them. She doesn't act like them. She is impulsive, rude, nasty witch. She defies the other Inquisitors, including the Grand Inquisitor. And like, the solution is, I'm going to use my Force to throw a knife, and therefore that will out the Jedi, who basically just like drops the tent down to get away. Like, the Inquisitors are not presented in their initial scene as being very formidable, if that's how the sequence went. It was okay. Then we move along, and her solution is always to be threatening. The one Inquisitor is trying to say, look, we're going to offer a reward for information about a Jedi. She's like, no, we're going to cut off a hand, and then she just absolutely cuts off some random lady's hand just because the lady just says something. She's just violent and nasty. We have no idea why she's like this. She just has this bad attitude, like she's somehow gotten an unfair shake. And then later, hey, Jedi Bill, I had to squeeze in a rant. I don't know what you guys thought of this. I'm not watching anybody's material. I had to get my rant out. I've been at work for hours, just bottled up with all of this. I just want to get a rant out. I couldn't believe that that's all her character is. So here's my shtick on what Disney's done. Disney has written the most obnoxious, awful, divisive, violent character, made her an Inquisitor just because, and then cast a black actress who's either a no-name or little known name. I don't know who she is, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have resumes I'm not familiar with. And then, because she's so off-putting and awful, they know audiences are going to hate her, so therefore will preemptively tell everyone it's going to be racist to criticize her. I'm like, she doesn't even look like an Inquisitor to me. She doesn't behave like one. Like, I don't even care about her as an actress. The material that she was given is almost like unfairly divisive. Like, who cares it? Who cares? Yeah, Dave Bob says she's entitled. She feels entitled. Yeah, that was the speech. So when she confronts the Inquisitor, it's like, well, I didn't get my fair share. I've been wrong. I have to get Kenobi. We don't know. We have no idea how she knows about Kenobi, how she knows so much. And so it gets me to my next point, my next big grief, the murder of this stuff. In the end of the second episode, out of the blue, you have Obi-Wan, who's carrying around a lightsaber. He never ignites it. He just carries it around. Out of the blue, she's going on this rant because she's got him sort of pinned down about how Anakin is alive. You didn't even know he was alive. He's Vader now. Isn't that kind of key to the mythos that's kind of a secret? Like, that's like, who are these? Okay, the Inquisitors have basically been reduced to the scene in Dark Knight where the Joker's just walking around the dinner party going, hey, anybody seen Harvey Dent? You know where Harvey is? Anybody seen it? And we just have 3 Inquisitors walking around going, y'all see any Jedi? Who's got some Jedi? You got anything about some Jedi? If you don't talk to us soon, we'll cut your hands off or we'll pay you. It's like, what? The the introduction of all of this has just been so hollow and then abrasive and abrupt and chaotic. It makes no flipping sense. Like, I don't understand. I couldn't believe. So let's review. Obi-Wan is a completely useless old man who's not connected to the Force, who buried his lightsaber, and it's been 10 freaking years. It's not been like a year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's been 10. So now he's weak, right? You have the Inquisitors running around. They have no real structure. We have no real... If we're trying to play off the fans, it's because of Rebels, which comes after this show, which I'm going to get to that. And then one of them, in their own ranks, doesn't look like them, act like them, talk like them, is violent, is in conflict with them. But somehow that character knows all about Kenobi and all about Anakin. Yeah. And the cat and mouse chase is, we're going to chase after Leia, who is a little brat kid who is fearless. Like, she's abducted and kidnapped in a little prison cell by Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, by the way, which was a weird thing. It's almost distracting to see notable actors cast in roles like this, because you just get taken out of the moment. But no, she doesn't care. She just runs around. She runs away from Obi-Wan. You're not really a Jedi because you won't make me float. Like, it's like I was reminded of Hot Pocket. I mean, not Hot Pocket. Miss Mullet from Halo, the Quan character. I demand you do what I need you to do now, proving yourself worthy to me or to help me. That's how this little Leia brat kid kind of was. Like, well, you're not going to levitate me. I don't believe you're a Jedi. So I'm going to run away on a planet. I've never been out of my own hometown, let alone a freaking planet. Well, it's all just supposed to make sense. We're all just supposed to be okay with all this stuff happening. I heard people praising the show. That's the only videos I watched. A few minutes here, a few minutes of people that are praising the show. And every time any of this stuff's brought up, it's always like, well, we'll see what happens. Because, like, no, you've destroyed Obi-Wan. He's completely useless. Leia is a brat. You know, she ignores, her dad gives her this great pep talk about leadership, and she basically just runs off. Then when Obi-Wan's trying to help her, she runs off. Then you have this Inquisitor's running around with this crazy, volatile Inquisitor who knows everything about everything. Nothing's a secret. I have no idea how Anakin, his secret is out that he's Vader. It changes the entire premise of New Hope that's not a big reveal in Empire Strikes Back. It's not a big reveal for Vader to say, I'm your dad. I'm Anakin Skywalker. No. The Inquisitor knew. Everybody knows. Is it in the freaking training manual for the Inquisitors that this is how Vader came from? Did he have a pep talk with them for some reason? Like, you know, and then to close out episode 2, for no reason, the Grand Inquisitor shows up and has Obi-Wan there. They got him kind of pinned down, and instead of her submitting to him or using them to catch, no, she just executes and kills the Grand Inquisitor. Just does it. Just because she's bitter and mad, and she's been wronged. She's bitter and mad and been wronged, so therefore it's okay to just kill the Inquisitor. Which, by the way, as I understand it, is in Rebels, and that's 5 years later. So we're going to destroy that canon too now? I actually put a text and I tagged Dave Filoni. How does that feel, Dave? Your own canon and a character you created has now been executed in the Obi-Wan episode 2. And then Obi-Wan, because there's a cargo thing that he's thinking. Everybody else can do breakdowns of all the details. This is literally just me ranting of how betrayed I feel with all the stuff they try to do. Because this is different than Boba Fett for me. Boba Fett just seemed lazy to me. He was never in his own show. He was emasculated, carrying around his helmet. It was a lot of stupid. It was a lot of dumb. This was mean. This was mean-spirited. Like, it's dumb that they're on this cargo ship and they're going to get away. Kenobi makes it and joins Leia. This Inquisitor, Reva, has killed the Grand Inquisitor, and then she literally walks right up to the side of the ship and then does nothing. Like earlier in one of the episodes, episode 2, I believe, she's flipping off buildings trying to catch up to where Obi-Wan is, like Matrix style. She can jump from roof to roof. She can just do all these crazy acrobatics. But the ship, that's literally like feet away from her. She doesn't throw her lightsaber. She doesn't use her lightsaber. She doesn't force jump. She does nothing. She doesn't even go Rey and try to like force manipulate a ship. She does nothing. So it's dumb and mean. That's the Obi-Wan show you've given me. You took the dumb and stupidity that I was supposed to get out of Boba Fett, and now you've added mean by reducing Obi-Wan to just a completely useless, unpowered former Jedi who is really useless to help Luke, by the way. What good is he? Oh, goodness. Okay. Let me run through the chat real quick before I wrap up. Yeah, Joker, I saw you did a video. I saw where you were going. I hit like and got out. Sorry, I can't watch it. I wanted to give my own thing. Jedi Bill, you said, hey. Dave Bob popped in. She feels entitled. Yeah, she has this long spiel to Grand Inquisitor. And then, like, when she murders him, she says, you know, I don't want you to get the credit or something. It's like, whatever. Yo, Obi Pops Nobi. Awesome one's always trying to give me nicknames. Obi Pops Nobi. I have more of the look. I don't have the hair. Grifter says, hey. Jedi Bill, I didn't watch it because I had a feeling this show would be terrible, and I canceled Disney Plus last month. Yeah, I because of my press credentials, I still have it for free. I don't pay. I'm not. They don't get any money from me, folks. But yeah, I'll watch it so you don't have to. How's that? Everybody saying, come float with me. You did the best. I saw the first episode and it is awful, terrible, awful. Yeah, it's a freaking disaster. Episode 2 is worse. Episode 1 is just more bland deconstruction of Obi-Wan himself. Episode 2 is just full on whatever. Don't have Disney Plus, whatever. I agree. Leia is unlikable. You're being generous. Like, she's a brat. This is the kind of situation when kids run off, you have to constrain them and teach them that it's dangerous to run off, right? It's bad things happen. And the show does that. She gets kidnapped, but then when she's in the cell and stuff, she's got a bad attitude with the kidnappers. Like, yeah, you don't scare me, whatever. And then when Kenobi's trying to help her, she runs off again. Awesome one, Walmon. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Babysitter show, a little bit of that. Kenobi lost his balls. I don't even know what they were going for with all this. It's like he just abandoned the Force out of depression. It's pretty much the general gist of what's going on here. They're hanging baby Leia like baby Yoda. Yeah, I heard that might be a thing, and I think that's pretty much true. She's basically become the MacGuffin in this show. 540's out there. Hey, Grand Inquisitor might not be the one, the rebel, since he dies, or might not be dead, or there is a new Grand Inquisitor who was a Poan, I guess what they're called. So a big hole they need to fill there. Yeah, but that was the excuse. Quickly, everybody went to that excuse. Oh, let's see what they do there. I'm like, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I believe Disney is out to destroy all of the old canon, write their own canon. Yeah, that's how I feel. But this is mean. This show starts off mean-spirited. Think but Karen and a child. So that was my big difference between this and my dislike of Boba Fett. Boba Fett was like, it didn't make a lot of sense. It was just dumb. I was bored. You know, no helmet. He's never in his own show. The best episode is the Mandalorian episode. This was just mean-spirited. They deconstructed, emasculated Obi-Wan. They made Leia a brat. For some reason, everyone seems to know Anakin is Vader. Obi-Wan would be useless to protect Luke. I didn't even get to some of the other stuff that's terrible. Like, there's this fake Jedi who's basically a con man. He's that irritating actor that was in Eternals. I guess Disney loves this guy. He's pretending to be a Jedi, and he cons this poor woman and her kid out of money to get him on a shuttle, but that is saving them, so therefore he thinks he's doing good, and he's using magnets and tricks like he's a Jedi. And then for no reason, Obi-Wan just talks to this guy like he's a legitimate source, and then for some reason, he just, off camera, I guess, showed Obi-Wan where to go, and then later just shows up just in time to help Obi-Wan get to the cargo ship. Like, it's just, there are horrible contrivances. But my bigger issue, what got me all bent out of shape, is just the mean-spirited all. It's just mean. If it is the Grand means they messed up canon again. Well, I don't know. He is the Grand Inquisitor. Looks just like the Grand Inquisitor for a terrible live action adaptation. But anyway, not the first time. Yeah. So anyway, I needed to get a few minutes into Rant because I want to watch Az's video and some of the other stuff. And I know they will go way deeper than me and get into all sorts of stuff. And I didn't want that to taint my first reaction. I've had this bottled up all morning. I actually wanted to jump on Loki's show and rant for 5 minutes, but I can't even look. I've gone for almost 20. I've got to get back to my regular life. I am sorry I didn't spend more time with you or offer you guys to come in. I just had to I literally just felt it was. So when I saw Last Jedi, it was more like, what did I just see? I didn't come away with the anger, vitriol, and hatred because I've never really I've watched it maybe once or twice after seeing it in the theater. I've never watched it again. I have really no intention to sit through it again because it just keeps getting worse. This was mean and I'm resentful and stuff right out of the gate. Like I don't understand what you're doing. If you're trying to deconstruct Rebels, you're trying to deconstruct Anakin, you're trying to deconstruct his secret that he's if everyone knows he's a freaking Skywalker, they're just gonna go around planets, go, hey man, you know any Skywalkers? Any Skywalkers on this planet? Any Skywalker? Who got any Skywalker? I mean, it's like Vader's not supposed to know you guys kids, and we're supposed to believe that he's just been searching system to system for 10 years. He finally got to the right planet where Obi-Wan is, and I don't know. It's just I hated it. I hated it. I'm sorry people are saying it's a 7 or 8. I don't know why. I don't get it. Almost everything I've seen or heard is more like, we'll see where it goes. We'll see what they do with that. I was just turned off. This is like a 3 for me. And that's mostly because there are some positives, which I don't even want to deal with right now. I don't even want to deal with it. It's like the first episode is, oh, I don't know. There are moments that aren't horrible. Owen's good. Owen's great. Owen stands up to the witchy Inquisitor lady, Reva. So he's good. So the entire season of Rebel One has just got undone. Yeah. Or at least presumably Jay says there's another way out. I'm not sure. Polly's minion, hey. They have to fill that effing hole up. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they will. Sorry, said no word. It's okay. And the Joker, no one knows that Vader is Anakin. I know it makes no sense that only what Palpatine knows, of course. Thrawn knows, of course. Tarkin knows, of course. Is there anyone else that knows? I'm not even sure Tarkin. It's clear that Tarkin knows. We assume Tarkin knows, but yeah, I think those are the only ones that know. So the Inquisitors know. Like I said, this is our freaking round table. They just sent out lists of information, and I ranted. I said my piece. Thanks for hopping in. If you missed anything, just feel free to go back. This video will not have a thumbnail. It'll just be a picture of me probably holding my head like this. Like, what the F did they freaking do to my universe? So, and then yesterday I did this great show with Mags where we have all this positive stuff, and this is the garbage that I wake up to this morning. So anyway, love you guys that you're even supportive and hopping in and that kind of thing. Yeah, big stupid holes. Yeah, it's just nuts. Palpatine, Thrawn, and Tarkin. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I could be wrong because there could be other EU stuff I'm not aware of, but it's definitely not common knowledge. That's freaking not the thing. So anyway, you guys take care. Have a blessed day. If you disagree or whatever, want to leave comments, feel free. Thanks again for all the love and support out there. I'm Pops. Have a good one.